We're continuing to monitor active wildfires in the area of northwestern Ontario. Currently, the largest wildfire is in Dryden at 168 hectares, which is 15 kilometers northeast of Ignace. As well, we're seeing 4 wildfires in Fort Frances with a total of 80 hectares. And that's also leading to evacuation notices issued for Mine Centre, northwestern Ontario on Friday due to the threat of wildfires. Now, majority of these wildfires are in northwestern Ontario with 8 out of control. Now, we saw a slow start to the wildfire season, which is the start is during April 1st. Now, currently, we have 50 year-to-date wildfires that we've seen so far, which is below the 10-year average and what we saw last year. But, we're continuing to see a pretty high fire danger rating for northwestern parts of the region all the way from Kenora down to Fort Frances. It is the May long weekend. And depending on where you live in this country right now, you are either heading into the best weather of the entire month, or you are about to get buried under 20 centimeters of snow. This is a tale of 2 seasons unfolding across Canada at the same time. The West is cold, unsettled, and dealing with significant snowfall in the mountain passes and foothills. The East is finally warming up, sunshine is returning, and the temperatures that Ontario and Quebec have been waiting weeks for are arriving right on long weekend timing. But buried between those 2 stories is a severe thunderstorm threat across northern Ontario and into Quebec on Saturday afternoon that cannot be ignored. Good morning. This is your long weekend national forecast for Saturday, May the 16th. Let us get into all of it. We start in British Columbia, where the long weekend is getting off to a difficult and disruptive start. Scattered rain showers are moving through the province on Saturday with the chance of non-severe thunderstorms mixed in. And in the higher elevations, that precipitation is not falling as rain. It is falling as snow. Up to 10 centimeters is possible along the highway passes including the Coquihalla, Allison Pass, and the Crousnest Pass through the day on Saturday. If you are traveling along any of those corridors this morning or this afternoon, you need to be prepared for rapidly changing and potentially dangerous driving conditions. Check road conditions before you leave. Give yourself extra time. And do not assume that because conditions looked manageable when you departed they will stay that way through the pass. The foothills are facing an even more significant accumulation. 15 to 20 centimeters of snow is forecast for the foothills on Saturday. If you had plans to head out and enjoy those views this weekend, this is the forecast that changes those plans. The snow is real, the amounts are meaningful, and the driving through those areas is going to be challenging through the day. Sunday does bring improvement across British Columbia as the instability eases and conditions dry out. So the long weekend is not a complete washout for the province, but Saturday is the day to exercise caution and adjust expectations. Now we move into Alberta and the Prairies, where the temperature crash from earlier this week is still very much in effect and where the long weekend is feeling far more like late winter than mid-May. Calgary is sitting at just 5 degrees on Saturday afternoon. On Thursday, that same city was at 27 degrees. That is a temperature drop of more than 20 degrees in the span of 2 days. And as that snow pushes down from the foothills and slowly inches toward the city, Calgary could be dealing with a rain-snow mix through the day, with temperatures playing a critical role in determining just how much accumulation the city sees. Keep a very close eye on the Calgary forecast through Saturday as that snow develops and the temperatures hover near the critical threshold. Winnipeg is at 8 degrees. Just days ago the city was enjoying temperatures approaching summer. Now it is sitting in single digits with snow chances through the weekend. Saskatchewan and Manitoba are both in the zone for snow through Saturday morning into the afternoon, with upslope enhancement from the developing low-pressure system potentially increasing accumulation totals locally. The heaviest snow window across the Prairies is Saturday morning into the afternoon. After that, a brief lull before the next system arrives. Because Sunday brings a new development across the southern Prairies. A second system develops and pushes through southern Saskatchewan through Sunday morning and into the afternoon, bringing both rain and snow before pushing into Manitoba by the evening hours. It is that same Sunday system that then becomes the kick that drives a significant rainfall event into Ontario through the start of the new week. Heavy rain is possible across parts of the southern Prairies on Sunday, which is actually welcome news for a region that has been dry heading into this stretch. But the ground is going to play an important role in how that moisture is absorbed, and in areas where the soil is already compacted or frozen from recent snow, runoff and localized ponding are possible. Winds are also going to be a factor through the weekend across the Prairies. Not the violent 100 km/h gusts that battered the region on Thursday, but breezy and at times gusty conditions are going to persist through Saturday and into Sunday. It will not be comfortable to be outside across much of the Prairie region this long weekend. Now we come east to Ontario and Quebec, and this is where the forecast finally delivers something that people across these provinces have been waiting a very long time to hear. The warmth is here. The sunshine is arriving. The temperatures that should have been showing up weeks ago are finally making their appearance, and they are doing it right on long weekend timing. If you are in southern Ontario, in Quebec, across portions of the Maritimes, this is your weekend. You have earned it after one of the coldest and most relentlessly unsettled starts to May that this region has seen in years. Get outside. Make your plans. The weather is cooperating. But there is one important caveat on Saturday that needs to be clearly understood before you finalize those outdoor plans. A cold front is going to push through northern Ontario on Saturday afternoon, and it is generating the chance of severe thunderstorms across northeastern Ontario and into Quebec. The contrast between Kenora and Timmins on Saturday afternoon tells the whole story. On one side of that front, cold unsettled air from the prairies. On the other, the warm and increasingly unstable air building across the east. When those two air masses collide along the frontal boundary on Saturday afternoon, the result is the potential for severe storms. If you are in northeastern Ontario or in Quebec on Saturday afternoon, keep the sky in view and keep your weather alerts active. For southwestern Ontario and the GTA, the threat is lower but not zero. A zone of non-severe storm potential stretches across southwestern Ontario and toward the GTA through Saturday morning, with some showers rolling in and embedded storms possible. Watch the Saturday morning window carefully if you are in that area, and track conditions through the afternoon before committing to outdoor plans. Southern Quebec is looking at some lingering showers through Saturday at times before conditions improve. And then Sunday arrives for Quebec and it arrives beautifully. Temperatures warming into the low 20s for Montreal on Sunday. That is the kind of day that makes a long weekend feel like a long weekend is supposed to feel. Atlantic Canada is also in the warm side of this forecast with temperatures ramping up nicely across the Maritimes. Newfoundland is finally seeing that rain begin to push out by late Saturday into Sunday, which after the relentlessly wet stretch the island has endured over the past 2 weeks is nothing short of a relief. So here is the full long weekend picture. British Columbia is dealing with snow in the passes and foothills, up to 20 centimetres in some areas, with improvement arriving Sunday. Calgary dropped from 27 degrees to 5 degrees in 2 days and is watching for a rain-snow mix Saturday. The prairies are cold, unsettled, and seeing snow through Saturday morning and afternoon with a second system pushing through on Sunday. Ontario and Quebec are warming up beautifully but need to respect the severe thunderstorm threat across the north on Saturday afternoon and the non-severe storm risk near the GTA through Saturday morning. Atlantic Canada is warming up and the rain is finally clearing for Newfoundland by the end of the weekend. 2 very different long weekends happening in the same country at the same time. Check your alerts, know your risk zone, and if you are in the warm side of this forecast, make the most of every minute of it. We will have your updated forecast coming up. Do not go anywhere.